Welcome to the show and welcome to Glow So Bright. While I would typically upload videos showing off a new gun, a new piece of equipment, or a So Bright special where I go and sew something up together, or maybe I'd cook at something weird or eat something weird, I have more pressing things to talk about, and the situation is currently ongoing as I speak, in which Jordan Derrick, known to us as Dugan Ashley, has been arrested by the federal government as of yesterday, May 12, 2026. Here of the public press release by the United States Attorney's Office, Western District of Missouri, as published by the official website on the United States Justice Department, where it says, verbatim, Sweet Springs, Missouri man charged with manufacturing explosives, unlawfully possessing an unregistered destructive device, and distributing information related to manufacturing explosives. Published on Tuesday, May 12, 2026. Kansas City, Missouri. United States Attorney R. Matthew Price today announced the filing of a criminal complaint against Jordan Derrick, age 40. The complaint charges Derrick with one count of engaging in the business of manufacturing explosive materials without a license, one count of unlawful possession of an unregistered destructive device, and one count of distributing information relating to manufacturing explosives in violation of U.S. law. The complaint alleges that beginning no later than September 18, 2023, Derrick began using several social media sites to distribute videos of himself making various explosive materials, to include detonators, nickel aminoglycine petrolaurate, NAP, ethylene glycol dinitrate, EGDN, hexamethylene triperoxide, diamine, HMTD, hexamine dinitrate, HDN, Research Department explosive, RDX, silver acetate double salt, SADS, trinitroxylene, TNX or R-salt, trinitroluene, TNT, pentaethranol, teranitrate, PETN, aminoglycidine bicarbonate, and ammonium nitrate / nitromethane, ANM. In his videos, Derrick provided step-by-step instructions on how to make these explosives. According to the complaint, Derrick's videos were downloaded from his publicly available video sharing accounts and used by Samsudin Jabbar, the individual who conducted an attack in New Orleans on January 1st, 2025. Jabbar had created IEDs consistent with Derrick's instructional videos. The devices placed by Jabbar did not detonate and were subsequently rendered safe by law enforcement. Also, according to the complaint, on May 4, 2026, an explosion occurred at the private residence in Odessa, Missouri. Investigators who searched the private residence after the explosion found two components suspected of being used in explosive devices. The occupant of the residence told investigators that he manufactured explosive devices after watching online tutorials on a social media account that is believed to be utilized by Derrick to utilize information relating to the manufacture of explosives. An investigation of the Odessa explosion is ongoing. If convicted of engaging in the business of manufacturing explosive materials without a license, Derrick would be subject to a sentence of up to 10 years in federal prison. If convicted of unlawfully possessing an unregistered destructive device, Derrick would be subject to a sentence of up to 10 years in federal prison. If convicted of distributing information relating to the manufacture of explosives, Derrick would be subject to a sentence of up to 20 years in federal prison. In the federal judicial system, there is not the possibility of parole. These maximum statutory sentences are prescribed by Congress, and they are provided here for informational purposes. Any sentence will be determined by the court based on the advisory sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. This case is being prosecuted by the Assistant U.S. Attorney Trey Alford and Special Assistant U.S. Attorney Brandon Charlson, with valuable assistance provided by Trial Attorney Michael Dito of National Security Division. It was investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The allegations contained in a complaint are accusations, no evidence of guilt, and the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Meanwhile, as of right now, at time of recording, according to Court Listener, there has been legal motions in place as well as criminal complaints, but all of that is sealed, so I don't know what's going on, and I have no knowledge to this sort of information, as it's not available to the public. For those who don't know, Jordan Derrick, also known to us as Dugan Ashley, is the face of Carnicon, a series of firearms videos which incorporates both knowledge as well as humor. And without Dugan's involvement, the face of firearms media today would be much different and likely significantly worse. He is a loving father someone who served in the United States military and served our country as a combat engineer in the U.S. Army. And after stepping down from Carnicon due to illnesses such as MS, he has returned back into the firearms sphere, talking about things that are relevant today and the consequences of that and how it affects us in our own daily life. I'll leave it at that. As well as coming into the firearms media space, teaching to the public about chemistry and how it works. He also has contributed a lot out there and provided great insight with his own experience and knowledge on the firearms media and firearms community, such as that with the Focus Trip streams, such as that with the Uncle OG streams, which I was with Dugan Ashley on. And he's a great man. I've conversed him also in private. Yet, over here, I don't have much of an experience or background in terms of explosives or the legality surrounding manufacturer, which he's not manufacturing them for commercial purposes, or making knowledge or the licensure or how these are created. I'm not one to be in a background of that. Heck, talking about what these various explosives are, I've butchered the names of many of them out there. So in terms of legality and use of explosives under US law, I don't really have much to say about that. However, one thing I do say is this final count, this final charge of distributing information relating to manufacturing explosives, I find that to be bullshit. All this stuff out there is public knowledge, often released by our own government. Just because a terrorist uses it to go and attack the innocent, and just because a moron decides to go and detonate it carelessly and utilize this sort of stuff with his own assumption of risk, just does something stupid with it, why would a man teaching information to the public, which is often sourced by our own government, getting in trouble? Like if I were to go and teach stuff verbatim out of the Ranger Handbook, which is a publicly released document, by the way, by our own government and by our own military, and then some idiot hurts himself trying to conduct an L-shaped ambush, or worse, uses it to attack the innocent, and I get in trouble over it? No, all this stuff is protected speech, as enforced by the First Amendment and enforced by our supreme law, our Constitution of our own republic. And now we have a man behind bars because he's highly influential. This situation over here reminds me very much of Larry Vickers, former U.S. Army, former Delta, and with Larry Vickers in this instance, high-profile individual in the firearms media space. And what happened to him is that he was arrested by the federal government and eventually pled guilty on October 2023. And if I look over here, 2 felony counts, pled guilty for conspiracy to violate federal law regulating automatic firearms under NFA machine guns and other restricted firearms, such as SBRs, as well as conspiracy to violate the International Emergency Economic Powers Act related to dealings with the sanctioned Russian arms manufacturer Kalashnikov concern, which would lead to a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. But this draws strong parallels between Larry Vickers and that of Dugan Ashley. And besides, if the government truly believes that they are putting criminals behind bars for the public safety out there, then why would they have uneven enforcement and just target high-profile individuals who have served our country? I mean, I myself have witnessed illegal firearms activity, a violation of sanctions, and other criminal acts, and then I would go and personally forward it to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the ATF, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, on stuff I've witnessed in public on social media spaces. For example, one instance, November, which is about half a year ago, I end up witnessing a possession of a Chinese Type 97 assault rifle, which is something that would not belong in the United States under American soil, as it is a violation of law and a violation of sanctions. But as far as I'm aware, and as far as to the knowledge of the public, They let it walk and do jack shit while these criminals still continue to act. And these people have celebrated death. They have threatened the public and are a complete and threat towards all of us. And are they neutralized? Are they in jail? Are they under trial? Have they faced justice? No, they haven't. It's fucking ridiculous. And instead, they just go over people who serve our country and have to be high profile. Just because of, showing off stuff that, like the government publishes, and I can read this stuff. Anyone can read this stuff. You can buy the fucking improvised explosive handbook off of the Commando Store website. It's fucking absurd. So, regarding Dugan Ashley, what can you do to help him out? Well, his wife, Phoebe, has created a GiveSendGo. And this would be used to go and help facilitate raising of funds to go and help provide a competent lawyer to go and assist Dugan Ashley regarding this. I myself will give an appreciable amount of money to go and support him, as well as his family, to make sure that he is free and be able to return and care for his wife and his children. And with him suffering from MS, going to jail would be a problem for him, and it would probably get him killed, whereas the illness would no longer be controlled and would eventually just kill him sooner than what should happen to him. So please, give money to Dugan's Defense Fund. He's one of us. And the government, they'll not stop at Larry Vickers, they'll not stop at Dugan Ashley. They might go after you or me next, just for teaching this stuff and having protected speech. If you're not able to go and donate, please spread awareness of this out there. Please share further this video, or even more importantly, the GiveSendGo, down in the video description down below, and put him in our own prayers. I myself will go and throw this video together, publish it, and then go and give a donation. Dugan Ashley is one of us, so that he can be free. Another thing, go and archive information. Save it privately. It's useful knowledge that would help us later. And conduct yourselves at your own risk. There is a disclaimer at the bottom of the video description down there, and oftentimes in front of the video for that.
Aliens defeated.